lounge, Concord Lounge, and they come and bring all the shit to you, and they say, is this all right? And that's how the banks ought to be. Because the banking business is more competitive than the goddamn airline business. As competitive as the airline business is. So, I mean, and when I see somebody that's been with a bank a long, long time, I can normally categorically almost guarantee 100% that you can do better off in another bank. But rather than do that because it's a hassle, better to give the bank an opportunity to make your life easier than just go like that. What do venture capitalists really do? Some people say not much, but they don't give you anything. They wouldn't give you a free lunch, or they wouldn't give you ice in winter, kind of like Dave.
They'll take your lunch.
Okay. They take your lunch. That's right. Venture capitalists are small. Private equity firms are larger than venture capital firms, and then there's hedge funds now. But generally speaking, they all do the same, which is they invest money. Let's just say that Dave didn't have a business, and he had this idea, and he brought this idea from Russia, like he did, or whatever, wherever he got it, and you say this, you think this pretty, you know, there's pretty good margins because you were working at a lower level, both in Russia and when you first came to the United States. And you think, well, with $2 million, let's use that as a number, you could set up a business, and the returns, the margins are, let's say, 50%. And venture capitalists like big margin businesses. And just like I do, they like big margin businesses because they realize you're probably not going to be a Jack Welch manager, and so it gives you a lot of room to screw up with big margin businesses. And they say, okay, and you show them some 3-year projections, etc., and they see, and they believe enough in the due diligence, and they seem to have put a reputable team together, and they say, okay, we'll give you the $2 million. We don't give them, they'll loan you the $2 million in the form of $1 million in equity and $1 million in debt. They'll set up a line of credit. They'll guarantee a line of credit for you. And they'll say that you say that there's 50% margins. Well, that's great, and it would be great to produce 50% margins, but and they'll take anywhere from 60 to 90% of the company, and they will allow you to earn back 20, 30, 40, 50% of the company through performance. So they'll say 50% margin. If you can produce a 40% margin or a 30% return on our equity, in year 1 you'll get 6% of the equity back. And if you can do it in year 2, you'll get 12% of the equity back. And if you can do it in year 3, you'll get 14% of the equity back. So you could claw yourself, you and your management team could claw back maybe to 40, 45, 49% of the ownership of the company for putting up no money. And we will exit in 3 to 7 years. And when we exit, you'll get your pro rata share of the ownership of the company, and we'll get our pro rata share for putting up the money. You got to pay back the money. Whether it's debt or equity, they're going to say that you got to pay back the money. So these rates of return